This episode of Chat and Chew is sponsored by 30 and 2 CPR. Unfortunately, we don't always know when tragedy will strike. But when every second counts, isn't it good to know that 30 and 2 CPR is just one heartbeat away? Our qualified instructors are standing by to provide you and your staff with the training you need to meet emergencies head on. Visit our website at www.30and2cpr.com or call us at 919-923-6055 to schedule your training event today. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, hit the bell to activate notifications that will remind you when we're on. Please be sure to leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you.
Greetings once again to our Chat and Chew broadcast. My name is Dr. Glenn Warren, and I welcome you for our broadcast this month. This is August 2023, and I think this is National Black Businessman Month, Business People Month, Business Leaders Month. So this month in August, we're going to be focusing on Black businesses as well as some nonprofits. There are some really good nonprofits out there in the world today, in our community, doing some really, really good work. And we want to highlight a few of them. The first one we're going to talk about today is my dear friend Reggie Edwards from the Encouraging Place. She has a nonprofit in Raleigh. She has about 30 years history of doing community work, and you're really going to love this interview, this broadcast that we have. I've known Reggie for quite some time. We went to church together. We kind of helped each other get started our nonprofit, and our paths have been crossing for the last 20, 25 years in the world of nonprofits. And I want to welcome her to the studio. I know you guys, a lot of you guys are tuning in on your dinner break. And so let's chat and chew while you do. Well, greetings. We're back from the break. And as I mentioned earlier before, today we have in our studio, our chat and chew version of our studio in the month of August. Mm-hmm. A dear friend of mine, Reggie Edwards. And so today I decided to ask Reggie to come, and I want to really talk to her about the work that she's doing in Wake County. And it's so powerful, it's so needed, it's so necessary. And before we get into that, Reggie, I want to ask you, and I ask this to everybody to come, what is your why?
I am so turned on by what I do because it was my assignment. Never in 100 years was I asking for this.
Why?
Never did I say, I want to, never. It was my assignment, but it was made just for me. And so the flow was very easy, right? And I mean, come on, it was not out of me. It was a God thing. Because I couldn't have done this for 30 years if it wasn't.
If it wasn't for God.
I'm telling you. It was my assignment. It was a thing. But actually, all of the work that I do now is of the programs that I started at Building Together back in the day.
Wow.
So when I left, they were alive and well. I had to take them and do something.
Right.
I mean, I didn't even have a 501c3. So somebody said, do you have one? I was like, oh, I got to have one of those. It was like, because the work continued.
Right.
So I had to get a 501c3, but all of the work that I do now is exactly what I was doing at Building.
Wow.
And that's why I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have learned how to do urban ministry there. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know.
A lot of times the work that we do prior to the work that we're doing. It's a preparation
It's
for the work that we're doing.
It's a setup.
And we don't even know. You don't even know that you
don't know.
God is setting you up for this.
Yeah. You think
and you walk in and it's like, wow, I've been doing this all along.
Right? You just gave a name to it.
And now you kind of in charge of it.
Yeah.
So which is really thing that I really talk about that.
Yeah. I know. It's the same thing. And I said to you, now, to come up with that thing you're doing, that was a God idea, man. Ain't nobody thought about doing that. Who would have thought to do that? Because if I'd have thought about it, it would have felt so gigantic.
Right.
But for you, it was just a natural, right? But it was definitely a God idea.
Yes.
Because nobody else was doing it.
Nobody else is doing it. Yeah.
And nobody else is doing it.
Exactly.
Well.
I was at my first cousin passed away last Friday. She was at her funeral. Her daughter did a eulogy, and she talked about the assignment.
See?
There you go. What is your assignment? What is
there you go.
Before we both could preach about this.
Sure.
But what is your assignment, and how do you find out what that is?
And
a lot of times we think it's different from what we've been doing all of our life.
If God put it in you when you were little, before you even were born, He put it and decided what you would do. And that thing just grew up with you, and you didn't know it.
You didn't know it.
You just thought, well, it's what you do for your job. But it's like it just grew up with you. And at the appointed time, it manifests.
Exactly.
But it hadn't been, it's not like it was new. It had been growing up inside of you all along. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yes. And sometimes what we get wrong is we get ahead of God.
Oh, we think we can create something.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to do a so-and-so. And I'm like, really?
Don't get ahead. Don't get ahead of yourself.
You got to wait until you get the call. Because they say some were called and some were sent. Yeah. Some went. Yeah. And some went. They just kind of burned out by the wayside.
Some was sent. Some was sent and some just went.
There you go. And it's like, and you saw them like, oh, there you go, back over there. Or else then they start doing something else. They start doing something else. And they keep doing these things, looking for it. Instead of saying, if you get real still, and pull out what's already in there, you'll know. It's the easiest way. That's the easiest way. Because any other, it's just too hard.
Which leads me to my next question. What would you do every day if you didn't get paid?
This.
Exactly.
This. I mean, when there was a time, I've been doing this 30 years. There was a time when we were down with little funds, and my boy Chess says, well, you're going to have to choose. You're going to get your paycheck, or you're going to get your health insurance. I'm like, you better pay that health insurance. Yeah. I don't have to get this paycheck. Yeah. I got to have my health insurance.
I got to go to the doctor.
And that's it. Yeah. And they were like, I said, no, I'm not worried about that. Because I don't keep right on doing. What would I look like? No, I ain't going to do it no more.
Right.
Really?
Right.
No, you keep right on, keep getting up. And that's what a call is. Right. And that's the difference. You can't divorce it. You can't retire from it. You might die out from it, but you can't.
Exactly.
You can't. You just keep on doing it because it gives you joy. And it's your fulfillment because that's what you were called to do.
So you kind of walk us through. You have a very impressive resume. Yeah. So walk us through a little bit things that you've been doing.
In 1994, I was working with I was looking for it. I was looking for the thing I was called to do. And I didn't know what it was, so I just kind of was looking for it. But one of the things I was looking for was, where is God working in a place that doesn't have a steeple on it? I know God is big enough, but is it only churches where you'll see the works of God? Is it just social services? But I wasn't seeing anything happening in the community like I thought you're supposed to see.
Right.
If God is bigger than that, why I can't see nothing? So I heard about this program that was being started for rural minority women. And I said, hey, that's it. I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to be a part of. And so when I called a friend of mine who was directing the program, she said, did you read what that said? And I said, yeah. She said, what does it say? I said, it says, rural minority women. She says, and you live where? I said, well, she said, you can't be a part of this, right? You live in Raleigh. Right. I said, but she said, you can't be a part of this program Because it's not, you can't be a part of
Yeah,
this.
it's a rule.
But I couldn't let it go. And I said, then let me help you. Let me just help you do whatever that is you do. But something about this is calling my name. And so she followed her so bad. She finally let me just follow her. She'd be in Eastern North Carolina. She'd be in Western North Carolina. She'd be all over. And I saw women's lives transform. And that was something for me like, wow, I see it. I saw women's lives transform. Coming in on weekends, doing these weekend seminars. We started doing it for women. Then we started saying about your families, and then your husband. I mean, for many people, that was the first time they'd ever stayed in a hotel. So when that program was over, here I'm like, man. And I finally went, and somebody called me to do a seminar for some teen girls. And I went to do a seminar for teen girls. And when I got there, it was 18 teen boys.
Wow.
And I stood outside of the door because we were at a community center. And so I stood outside the glass door. I'm looking in, they're looking out. And I'm saying, God, this is real cute, but you need to give me the boy a message. Because these boys looking like what? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Well, okay. So when I got myself together and I went on in there and I shared, and they were like, will you come back tomorrow? And it angered me because I'm like, I passed all these churches to come to this community center. Where are churches and where are people that's doing, where is the church? Do they even know these little boys over here in this community center want somebody to come and talk to them? I stopped at the first church I saw on the way from there where I knew somebody. And I lit into that pastor. And he was kind of like, we never talked to each other. I'm like, but y'all need to move.
Right.
Because you're not doing nothing. You're not do you know these kids here? Why you here?
Right. Wow.
And he was like, let me take you to somewhere where I think people are doing the kinds of things you're talking about. And he took me down to Building's-Dale.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's how I got there. Yeah. He took me down there.
Wow.
And that day they weren't there, and I jumped on them again. I was like, see, ain't nobody here, and you. He's like, yeah. So, but when I did finally go there, and I met Helen Johnson, who was one of the co-founders, and she said, you just really did that. And so when she told me all about the programs they did, it was like, this is it. I'm home. Right? So I volunteered. I think I volunteered for 2 years.
Wow.
Every day. Every day I got off my job and went, every day. Then they messed around and gave me a little key. Then they messed around and gave me a little desk. And I'm in now. I'm in like Flint now. That's it. I ain't never going to leave here. And one day I was there, and the youth program, the guy who was heading up the Haiti mission was also heading up the youth program. He says, I can't keep doing this because I'm doing Haiti. I just can't keep doing all this. And so I'm at home praying, God, you need to send somebody. You need to stand me some help. You just need to send somebody to help us. And then we need somebody to head up that program. And I'm just walking through the house, just praying and praying. And then I thought I heard something in my nose. And he says, you do. I was like, no, I don't do this. I don't do nonprofit, raise your own support stuff. I said, you remember, I don't do that. Because I just got to have my check every day.
Exactly. I
don't do that nonprofit, raise your own support stuff. I said, they can do it, but I can't. And it was so funny. I called Stan. I said, Stan, I was praying against what? I said, I think I heard something say, you do it. He says, but you don't like faith support. I said, I told him. He said, then you got to tell Brandon, right? And I did. And he said, okay, write your job description and tell us what you can do.
Wow.
And I wrote it. And that's how I started.
And how long did you work with Building's-Dale?
More than 10 years. More. 10, 12 years. Yeah. But all of the things that I do now are all of the things I did then. The first assignment I had, in addition to heading up that, it was like a big brother, big sister program. In addition to heading that up, it was, can you plan a racial reconciliation conference? I said, okay, I'm really doing good at conference planning. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I ain't clue of what in the world racial reconciliation is, because I never heard those words before. I've never seen scriptures relating to reconciliation, anything. I've never heard that. I thought, you know, be right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I never, but they said, plan the conference. But I knew you better learn something.
Right.
And so I started reading all the books by John Perkins. I read everything he had. So by the time they came, I knew, right? And that first conference, our speaker was Chris Rice and Spencer Perkins, who are the authors of More Than Equals. They had just written it.
Really?
And that's years
ago.
That was that 200 years ago. Right.
Wow.
And that's why that's the exact same book I use.
Right.
It's the same book. Because that's where I started. Right? So, and even with in addition to the youth program and the race piece, we do a women's outreach, because all of the programs that build together were for youth and children. But it's like, how do you leave the mothers out?
Right.
You can't take a child out of a house and put them back in the house, but not. You gotta get the parent out of there too.
Right.
Or else it's
right.
You said on Friday is over by the time you get back Monday.
You take the kids right back into that.
You can't. So my whole thing was, how do we reach the mothers? And again, I'm waiting for that God idea. Da-da-da-da, this is God, do it this way. And it never came. Right? Like, come on. I need to do something for the women. And I need a God idea. I need you to tell me how to do it. And it never came. So one day, I'm in the window of the building, and I looked out and saw a parent walking down the street with their child. And I threw the window up and I hollered out at the lady and I said, come here. I said, hey, I want to come to your house and have a rap session. Because that's what we called it
right.
years ago. And she was like,
really?
Excuse me. Like,
who are you?
Who are you hollering out this window at me? I said, really, really, really? Can I just come to your house? I just want to talk to you. Can I just come to your house? And she was real slow about,
wow.
Okay. Yeah. I said, I just want to talk. Can we just talk? Right? And we just want to talk about stuff, just women's stuff. I'll bring some little snacks. We had the little snacks from the food bank, little stale crackers and some sodas, but I went on up there and we sat and talked. And I said, okay, next week when I come, you invite somebody, I invite somebody. So we did that. And after a while, the little ladies from the community came and sat in her little living room. And we just talked about women's stuff. And eventually I was able to get them to come down to our building. And that was the start of our women's outreach. So that became the summer camp for women. So when the summer camp got up to 100 people, 100 women in a hot auditorium when the lights had to be turned off because the air conditioner cut off and nobody left, I knew this is God. Right? It was so hot. And I was like,
and they were
just going home. I was going to go home too. They never left. They stayed.
Because you were feeding them. You were getting something.
It was so exciting. It was so exciting. And that's when I began to know I had to expand. And so I began having them in different places.
Wow.
So all of this that I do, it was never a creative Reggie idea because I didn't know how to do none of it. Right? I was just in the right place at the right time to learn how you do urban ministry. But then that thing just dropped on me of do this next, do this next, do this next. And I tell you, I was explaining to somebody yesterday, if the encouraging place was my ministry, it would be different than the encouraging place is God's ministry, and He just lets me work through it. But it is not mine, because I could have treated it like I treat stuff. You know, your car get dirty, you just wait till you go get washed, or you can wait for this, or I would treat it like I treat stuff. But it's never been mine. It's always been His. And that's why I think we've had a bunch.
Wow.
Because it never been mine.
And yeah, and, you know, that's amazing I mean, when I look at my story, before I grew up in the household with my dad, loving father, from the old generation.
Yeah.
But I was a kid. Me and my siblings and I had the best father kids could have. I mean, he was uneducated, but he worked hard. He loved his family. He fed for us. And then I got married. I married for 15 years. And then I got separated, divorced. And now I'm becoming a single father.
So now what?
Yeah. So, and then, now I've got 3 kids that I got to get up in the morning and I got to feed for, and I got to when they up at night throwing up, I got to be there. I can, this is me. This is me. I got to get them to school. I got to get up. I got to help them do the homework. I got to do all that stuff. And then I worked in the system for 25 years as a retired social worker, and I've seen the devastation of adults now that growing up without their father.
There you go.
And then when I, as I become a young man, every church I would get involved in, they would ask me to be in charge of the fellowship. So I always had this.
You were always in proximity.
Of going.
Isn't that amazing?
That's right. And I couldn't
put it together.
I couldn't put this together.
Yeah.
But when God says, "So Father forever," and then I looked at my future, then I started thinking about all the stuff that I couldn't. There's got to be a gospel there.
Yeah. You knew.
But I couldn't have put this stuff together.
I couldn't have done this.
Not only that, another point, Reggie, I tell people all the time, I was associate pastor for years. I was an associate pastor. I was a campus pastor. It was the church people who prepared me for this too.
Ain't that amazing? Because we were on the same church around that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the church people who also helped prepare me for what that I'm working right now. And the things that we're doing, but it's really it's the assignment.
Yes, there you go.
And the thing that you do out of love becomes that is your assignment, and now you're getting paid to do it. Even though you're not doing it to get the money, but now God has said that's your livelihood and all of that. But I'm going to give you a salary. I'm going to give you the money. I'm going to. And you do that. Dennis told me something a long time ago. He said, "What you do for free, somebody one day will pay you to do it."
And that's something.
And I see it. I
It really is.
I would go out and do speaking engagements free of charge. I still do it now. But now people pay me for it.
It's
It's
a God thing.
Yeah,
and it makes it so crystal clear. I would not dare start none of this, a business or a ministry or anything, lest I was following God's leading instead of jumping out here on my own strength. Come on, please.
Right.
I would not dare, because it's the sure way to a dead end. Because you run out of ideas. And then you start doing any kind of thing to make it look successful, because that's what it's all about.
One of our pastors, Bishop Marshall, he always taught us how to take the church beyond 4 hours.
There you go.
The gospel beyond the 4 hours in the church.
It's got to.
And that's what you're doing. I mean, what we do, Father, and we don't say, when I get through doing classes, I don't say amen at the end of it, because it's not really a sermon. But again, I could.
No.
Because it really is a sermon.
And they know the word. They know it's the word.
And so it's like you put in practical application to the gospel.
And it's surefire. Like, if you do this, you're going to be successful. Not because I said it. It's because of the principle. It's the principle. Right. If you do this, it's going to work for you. If you do this, not because I said it or because I created it, but it is the word itself works.
It's got to do. It's got to happen.
Do what it does. That's right. If you do it, it's going to be good for you. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it. I understand it, and I'm so ours.
So I know we love doing this. We have fun doing this. What are some of the challenges that you face that you thought one time, oh God, this is I can't do this no more?
I never knew I never had one of those. I never had I can't do it. I never had when I wake up in the morning, I don't want to go. I never had that. I never had it. But challenges, I can talk about that.
Which is good, because we've had a lot of challenges as well. But I never woke up and say, I don't want to do this.
I ain't doing this no more.
They have never.
You walk away from what?
Yeah, exactly.
You walk away, it's walking right with you. Like, wherever you go, I'm going to. So,
which is another sign that you are doing what you're supposed to do. Because all hell could be things could be bad, but I still can't.
Oh well, what we gonna do?
Exactly, I can't not walk. I can't walk with you. Yeah.
But I think let's bring it to the let's bring it to the race table. Now, my work is to bring people together. Tell people they got a magnet inside of them. Bring people together to talk to race issues. Does that mean that I am, do I know all the terms and I can expound on all the racial talk? No. But all I know how to do is bring people together and get them to talk. That's the easiest thing I know how to do. And that is the simplest way I've done it the whole time. Just bring them together. So what did we start doing? After I had that conference, when I told you it was Chris Rice's controversy. After it was over, people came to us and said, okay, we hear you saying we need to be reconciled, but how do you do that? And I said, oh, no. I said, I don't know. Right. I don't know. I didn't say I knew we were going to do this stuff. But let's try something. I said, let's get Chris and Spencer's book. Let's everybody bring their dinner, and let's just eat dinner together and talk through the book, right? And so they did, right? And then the next couple of weeks we do it again. And what happened? We started building relationships, right? But food makes friends.
It does.
So the good cooks knew, the other ones said, you just bring paper products. But we brought people together. They began to be friendly. Then when the reason why I use that book, because books, you say all the hard things. Right. All the hard things that you ain't got to figure out how to say this. Right. It's like, I already said it. There you go. And so when we start working through books and reading together, it's like, but now we've created a safe environment because like now, you're not just that guy that sits over there. I'm safe with him. He's safe with me. So I can say things and you can say stuff. And I can say, and you can say, I didn't know. Then because we formed a bond and it's safe. Because all places aren't safe. You know, you can't talk about it at the job. You can't talk about it at church. You can't talk about it in places. You can't talk race stuff because you get run out of there. Right. But we created a safe place. And people started coming regular. And they were coming out of different churches because they said there's nowhere else we can go to talk. Nowhere else we can go to talk to this stuff. And you would come around time for the holidays. I said, okay, make sure y'all come and get built up and geared up. Because you know what you can really go into when you go to Thanksgiving dinner at your uncle whoever's house. Yeah, you know what he's going to say. And it's like, man, we had to get built up because we heard some stuff around that table. Wow. Right? And I said, that's why I said, come to the filling station and get it. So you can go back out there and do what you got to do. I said, because eventually you're not going to be able to keep listening to it without saying something. Exactly. You just got to say, and uncles, you just can't keep talking. Yeah. You know,
I've been complicit watching this. I
can't do it. I can't. And so that was the thing, the strength of what we've done. So some of the same people who started with me those 100 years ago still do it. They're still coming around the table. They're still coming to stuff, right? So that's the secret of what we do. It's just bringing people together. It ain't nothing new. I don't know all the terms and all whatever. I just say if we can just come together. Have we had people come? And I had one man that used to come. I think he used to come and he would dispute everything that was in the book. He would dispute everything Black people said. He said, y'all always, it's not that way. And I'm like, oh my God. I don't know why black people. I mean, he came out of his bag.
Right.
And then I was like, dear Jesus, if he just wouldn't come next week, he would come every time. But that was our challenge. Like, what are y'all gonna do when I talk like this? It's like we're gonna come right on back at you, and it's gonna be okay. Because now we got friendship.
Right.
Now, like you talk crazy,
and we're gonna talk back to you.
Yeah. And he came every time.
Wow.
Every time. Because that was the only place he could talk stuff out. Right. And I had to give him, I mean, he was in his late 80s. Then,
Right.
You pray him away, he would not. He kept it. But that was his safe place. And he was the only person I ever had dealt with like that. Fast forward, maybe last year, I went to the thing, and a man came into a meeting and took his chair and turned his. We're sitting here. He took his chair and turned it to the wall. I guess he was saying to me, "I don't want to hear it." I'm like, "Why did you come?"
What?
I mean, what? Why?
You want to be here? You didn't have to be here.
He turned his chair around to make it obvious because all of us were together. I don't want to. You can say, right? And his wife was a little embarrassed, like, But in the end, one of the people shared, and he said, I had never heard anybody talk. I had never heard black people do that. I had never, ever heard that before. I'm like, what did you think you did?
Right.
And he said, I need to hear from her. So, turn your chair. But that was one of the crazies. But in this hard time that we're in, because we reverted back to the 60s, it's all there now. Because now people got permission to be ugly and racist.
Right.
Now it's getting people to the table. People of color feel like we are so tired of talking. We've been talking for years and years and years and years, and nothing's changed. So it's hard for me to get people of color to the table because they've been talking so long. And I understand it. We've been talking and talking and talking. And some of the same people you're talking to, you turn around and hear them saying some things in other places like, what? I thought we were on the same page. Like, no, we're not. So that if there's been a challenge at all, it's getting people to the table. Now, once it's like when you came the first time, it was like, I don't know what it's going to be like. And then you found out.
You know what? I'm going to share that story. Reggie would call me and email the call to Lynn. I'll invite you to this record table. I had a business schedule. I'm like, I was telling her, I don't know if I want to do that. I really don't. But Reggie's the person you can't say no to.
No.
Her and Miss Betty, two people you can't say no to.
How come you know?
Yeah, she couldn't tell. She kept calling. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go.
Then you could say to me, I don't want to be bothered with you. Yeah. Okay.
And I tell you what, when I got there that day, I was hooked. I was hooked. I mean, there was other white brothers there, there were other black brothers there, and we got to share some questions that I wanted to be asking. I wanted to ask some white people. I wanted to ask some black people as well. But I got to share my heart with these. It was the same place.
And they were open to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, he was pastors of big churches in Raleigh.
Big churches, that's right.
I mean, these are
that's
big prominent pastors.
Yeah,
if I would call the name of the pastor, I mean, the churches, you would know them.
Yeah, that's right.
But we're all in this room, and we asking these serious questions. And they're giving me some feedback. Now, I didn't quite all understand all the feedback, but they're at least telling me their perspective of how they believe what they believe. And they probably feel like they maybe didn't know why I felt like I felt, but we were there in that space.
That is the important thing.
Yes.
Is being able to just talk. Can we just talk? Because you remember times when they said, we didn't know y'all felt that way about that.
Right.
We thought y'all loved integration. We hated integration.
Yeah. No, we didn't want to do that either. Y'all didn't want to be with us. We didn't want to be with y'all. No.
Why? It disrupted everything we had.
Exactly.
But they thought, they really, the guy said,
y'all were doing us a favor by asking us to come to your neighborhood. No, we didn't want to be there.
No,
we want to be on the outside of town, just like you want to be on your side of town.
Yeah. But it's the safe place to ask the questions you can't ask nobody else. I'm like, don't go home and ask your wife, she don't know. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go ask somebody that's a man, another man like you, and hear what he says. Because people ain't talking.
Yeah. And I know I got a couple more minutes, and I haven't got to another point that I want to bring out. We want to come back. I want to get you back. I want to create a space. We can talk about the racial affiliation stuff. I want to create a space. But I was a part of this before. Some degree, the current
Christmas
yes.
store.
Tell us a little bit about that. I love that.
Well, what we do is get people to donate brand new toys, and the latest toys.
Yes.
Don't come here with no Barney. The kids don't even know what Barney is. I want the latest toys that's in those magazines and advertised on TV. We ask people to donate brand new toys. Leave the price on them so that we can mark them down 50, 75%. So that people in lower income situations can come and buy their own Christmas toys for their own kids. Because who knows better than you what your child wants?
And when I heard this, Reggie, I was so blown away about, some prominent white people and black people go out and buy toys, and then they bring the toys to the house and
the
open up the door.
At it, the husband looking at it, and it's awful.
Yes, and they'll bring the toys to the kids.
Yeah. The
kids will enjoy it, but the father looks back like, I can't
do that.
I can't.
And the children say, no, the white people gave us this.
Exactly.
You didn't give us these toys.
Exactly. So you're doing a good thing by that, but at the same time you're setting the parents back.
Yeah.
And you're making them feel unimportant. You're making them belittling them. But I love the idea when y'all say you let the parents come and shop and pick out for their own kids. So Sunday morning when they open up the Christmas,
it's like this is what mom and dad.
Yes, I love that idea. That was a good idea.
And everybody I know who's done it, it's like because I've had people in our program who were in other programs, and they said we didn't like them choosing. The other people chose what we got. They said we like being able to buy it ourselves.
Exactly.
The first year we did it, maybe the third year, a guy came that had 10 children. 10 children. And he said, I'm going to buy Christmas for every one of my children if you'll just let me come every night. So tonight it was for Susan. And this night it was for Bill.
Go on.
And he did. And that's why and he would let us wrap them, and put a name on them, and bring me something back to mom. And he did that for all of his kids. And I was so proud of him. Because he said, I want to do this. I want to do this myself.
Can you imagine the empowerment that gave that man?
Yeah. And he would back his car right back at the door. So when he walked right out, because we put them in big bags with the names on them. So he would say, this is so-and-so's bag, this is so-and-so. And I was so proud of him. But he came every month. And I'm like, it's worth it. It's worth it.
This is the kind of stuff that know you're walking in your assignment. Wow, I know we got to go, but I really
we can talk next year.
We can talk about it. You and I, we got to we can talk about a lot of things. But I just want to tell us where people can contact your information. I think we're going to probably put that on the screen.
Okay. It's
your phone number and all that good stuff.
Okay.
We have that listed on the, our team's going to put that together.
Okay.
And,
so what it's called is The Encouraging Place. And that was a name that some people came up with because I didn't know what it called. I was like, it's a no. You got to name it.
You got to name it something, yeah.
And I said, I don't know. It's a women's out. They said, no, you got to name it something. And the women who attended said, it's a nurturing place. It's a happy place. It's a healing. No, it's a encouraging place. I said, that's it. And that's how it became that.
And that's the name you mean?
That's the name of it, The Encouraging Place. And our website is www.theencouragingplace.org. Okay. And our office number is 919-773-4596. That was our phone.
Right.
But yeah, people can come get on our website because the same things we talked about, the racial healing groups, the women's outreach, the Pride for Parents Christmas School. Those are the only 3 things that we do. But that keeps us going forever and ever and ever. So yes, I would love to have people. I'd love for people to join our racial healing groups because we need more groups like the group you're in.
Yes.
We need more men's groups formed in the city. And I try to tell churches, if you don't know how to do stuff, call me. I know how to do it.
Right.
It's just provide the place. You don't have to come up with what's the idea, right? So I'd love to start more groups in the area we have. Women's groups, lunch groups, breakfast groups, Saturday groups. We have one in Salisbury, one in Durham, several in Raleigh. We're going to start one in Statesville. Yeah, so they're all over the place. You know, get paid to do it.
It could do it.
Right. So yes, I need supporters. We need people in our programs. That's what I'm talking about. As we do not want, well, it says, let us not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but let us encourage one another. That's it. Let's encourage one another to do the things that God's purpose.
And she's a nonprofit, so you want to make a donation to her? Go to the website and do all that good stuff. Well, Reggie, I am so glad that you came to be a part of this. Again, we're going to have you back. I'm sure there'll be a month where we're going to be talking about the whole racial component. And I want you to come and help me and Papa on a couple sessions.
Yeah.
Try to spearhead that conversation.
Okay.
Great.
Look forward to it.
Until we meet y'all again, so long. Here's 3 ways you can support our Dads at a Distance initiative. Give a copy to a family member, our friend. Donate monthly, a book monthly, 5 books monthly, how many books you want to do monthly donation. Reverse book signing, your church, your business. You can make a donation go to our website at www.afatherforever.com and go to our PayPal at Fathers Forever. Our Cash App is $Fathers Forever. Make your donation today. Please include in the note section, include DAAD. Again, include in the note section DAAD.
If you or someone you know would like to be a part of the show, please visit our website at www.afatherforever.com or call us at 919-779-9905. The Chat and Chew podcast streams Thursdays at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. To schedule a reverse book signing or to find out more information about how you can become a part of the programs you've heard us mention today, please be sure to stop by our website as well.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Father Forever University. My name is Glenn Warren, and I will be your instructor. Father Forever University is a remote learning experience where we take our 12-week class, and we meet here every Thursday night from 6 until 7, and we talk about fatherhood. We talk about domestic violence. We talk about where your child support money is going. We teach classes about fatherhood and how important it is to be in your child's life. So these 12 weeks is going to be very important for you guys to understand and the concept of fatherhood and what we're trying to teach you. Father Forever University is broken down into 12 weeks, and you can start at any time during those 12 weeks. The key to it is finishing those 12 weeks. Every lesson is in lecture format, where you listen to that lecture, and then on Thursday nights, we discuss that lecture. The Thursday night discussion is where your homework will be due. Part of your homework assignment every Thursday night is to, 1, we'll ask you the question, what did you learn? And the second question, how am I going to apply what I learned? We also have specific assignments for each lesson in the notes below. This has been an introduction into Father Forever University. Now let's get started in lesson 1.